Well, welcome to the podcast. I just want to cover a few things for the benefit of the viewers. Kahl is the founder, president, CEO of Venture Web Interactive, commonly known as ADVP, a digital marketing, web development, and e-commerce consulting firm in the Baltimore, Washington region. He founded the company in the late 1990s. He has seen its growth through full-service digital agency and serving clients across healthcare, manufacturing, professional services, retail, and government sectors. That pretty much sum it up there for you?
Yep.
Okay. Now, tell me about the Adventure Web Interactive when it comes to what you do in terms of design and development for your customers.
So one thing about it makes us unique. I mean, there's other what's called they call us boutique web developers or boutique digital agencies, is that we're custom. We don't go and grab a Google template and put it together and start throwing stuff into it. Everything starts in Photoshop, and we are building it from scratch up. Additionally, we built our own what we call boilerplate. So once it goes from Photoshop, we goes to our cut up to boilerplate. Our boilerplates are our own CSS style sheets that we've created over the years. And we believe that Google can see it better than the others. Over 27 years experience, we just even in our contracts with our customers, it states it that we have code in there that's proprietary to us. Doesn't affect the way your website looks, doesn't affect the way your website functions. It's just that we believe that our code is seen better by Google than our competitors, or obviously better than template or homegrown websites where you just fill out some stuff and it spits it out. So that's that. There are other companies like ours that do that, but not many anymore. So that's one of our uniquenesses. Is it more expensive? Yes, but in the long run, is the Google placements a better payoff? They are.
So they're getting a better bang for the buck with your
They're getting,
services.
yes, our SEO, our SEO server, when we go to the SEO side of things, when we SEO those websites, the Google sees them better. It's pure code. It's not a template. When Google looks at a template and it's scanning the internet, it sees a template. Well, it's going to see that template millions, hundreds of thousands, not millions of times. So therefore, there's nothing unique about it. So when we build from scratch, custom, it's unique.
Okay. Now, one of the things that is kind of interesting here is that in doing some research with you, you have a strong centric culture and long-term customer relationships. What does that mean to your viewers?
Okay, so we've been around for 28 years now, just celebrated our 28th birthday. So we have clients that go back 28 years. As in our industry statistic is digital agencies, IT companies turn over 50% of their client base every 5 years. We may be at like 2%, because we don't, we're not a boiler room. There's some people they're going to sell you something and then it's turned over to somebody else and turned over to somebody else. Our account executives, our digital strategists, they're all with you every single day. It's not being turned over. You're not being turned over to somebody else. Nothing's being farmed out overseas. Everything is done here in Maryland. Um, so that's proven, as far as a business standpoint, it's proven to be a very successful track record of retaining clients. The relationships, we go to cookouts with them. We go, we've been invited to birthday parties, Christmas parties. It's a very, when you walk into our office, there's a big banner. It says a unique family, and that's who we are. We are a unique family, that all of us are unique individuals. And we also, our clients are special to us as family.
Okay. One of the things I find interesting, you have highlighted that AI, machine learning, personalization, and advanced customer analytics are important drivers for the future growth in e-commerce and digital engagements. Could you elaborate on that more?
Yes. So AI in regards to one of the big things we use AI for is developing strategies and seeing what industries, what strategies and what industries are effective. Obviously, when we run digital campaign for a contractor, it's going to be a little different than a digital campaign from a healthcare company. So AI helps deploy that, and we can zero in on exact targets, IP targeting, specific people in specific neighborhoods. But there's another side of AI that's huge that people are just starting to learn about, that we've been working on for years now, is that traditional search in Google is changing dramatically, and in all the search engines. And Google is obviously still the largest. That people are no longer relying on search SERP, the organic placements. Their clicks on organic placements inside Google are down 40% the last 12 months over the previous. The asked question is why? It's AI. When people go in, they say contractor company near me. Well, now it's who's the best contractor company near me. And the Google search placements, regular search, is just the listings. The AI will tell you who the best electrical contractor near you is. So when we do what's called AI SEO, we go in and make sure that when questions are asked to Google, that our clients will come up in the AI search. And when we see that, we see a dramatic improvement in clicks to those websites. So when you're looking at AI, and then same thing, people do the same thing with Claude and ChatGPT. How do I find the best plumber near me? What healthcare broker has the best prices? What insurance broker? They're asking those questions, and we need to design the websites that they have the information in them, because we're a content development company that's going to have Google pull those results inside AI. I would imagine probably in 2-3 years, everything's going to be AI. You're not going to, original search placements are just going to go by the way they go. Dodo.
Okay, very interesting as far as concept with that. Now, what's your view on AI? Is it there to improve the streamline of the business, or is it going to be replacing people?
As far as if you look at our company and the advent of AI, and we are a big content company, we write on any given day, we're writing content for over 300-400 websites. And again, we're writing it, we run it through the AI checker. We'll use the AI for inspiration on ideas. But again, we also found that, when we look at blog posts that we're posting, AI is, if it's AI written, it's not getting crawled, or it's not getting posted out. We found that as long as human written, run it through the AI checkers, and then post, then Google picks it up, and of course it comes up in search. Those answers come up in search that are inside our blog post. But again, yes, AI, we have not terminated anybody. Nobody's been let go. We have all these writers, and you think, well, they're all going to get replaced. That has not happened, and nor do we have any intention of doing so. Does it save time? So as we grow as a company, we add another 10, 20 client engagements, every year or so. Then, do we have to hire another person? Probably not, because AI tools are making us more efficient. So it does, as far as hiring and growth, it does help us grow with less pain than going out and having to hire more and more and more.
Gotcha. Now, you've had some regional recognitions in the Baltimore area. Would you care to talk about some of your significant achievements with those accomplishments?
Yeah, so we've always been ranked, a lot of publications here, local publications always ranked us in the top web development companies. We have honor of winning the best places to work one year. We're very, again, it's a unique family. We take, in the early days, we're taking people on cruises, and we rent big giant houses in the islands, ski trips every year. We took everybody to Iceland, everybody and their spouses, we take everybody. So we believe in this stuff like that. National recognition. Silicon Valley magazine ranked us as one of the most admired technology companies in the country. Even though majority of our work, 90% of our work, is in the DMV area. So we have clients throughout the country. We have clients throughout the world. But again, 90%, 85, 90% are in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area.
Okay.
So yeah, we were very pleased to won a lot of those awards. Got a lot of recognition for the work that we do.
Yeah, I just want to make a clarification because when I lived in Hurd in Virginia, Hurd DMV, the only thing I can think about is the motor vehicle agency. So for the benefit of our
Exactly.
viewers, DMV stands for DC, Virginia, and
Maryland.
Maryland metropolitan area.
Mhm.
The what what do you see um, as one of your major milestones with this company?
That fact that we're 28 years old, you know,
That's a
we
plus.
yes, and we look at the digital agencies in Maryland. There may be one other that
That's as old as you.
as old as us and still intact. They a lot of them were bought and sold, during the 2000 early mid 2000s. Big giants were coming in, buying people up, gobbling them up, this, that. And of course, the big giants come in and gobble up. They destroy the culture. They put it, try to make it a Wall Street boiler room. The next thing you know, they're out of business. I can't tell you how many articles I read of when our competitors were being bought up here and there and that, and next thing you know, they're within 2 years they're gone. They spent $20 million for a company, and next thing you know, it's gone. So I would say milestones, and every year, every time something new came out, when social media came on, we hopped on social media, and it was very unique when internet first came, when we would meet clients in 1997, and it was AOL and Earls and all dial up back then. And people were like, the internet, that's just a bunch of college students trying to, well, make new friends. And we're like, no, it's not. In fact, Time Magazine came out with an article right in that time frame and said the internet will become the most powerful tool ever created by mankind to market products and services to consumers. And we would show people that. And the companies that never bought in, they're gone. The ones that really bought in the early ages, they're booming. We have client stories that were $2 or $3 million companies are now $150 million companies. And the same thing when social media came on, we would present that to clients, and clients would be like, "No, that's just a bunch of students trying to make new friends." And I'm like, "No, it's not." Then mobile, everything, mobile apps, and now, so every time new technology came out, we had to adapt. AI SEO, we had to adapt. We had to go to clients and tell them, we need to recode some stuff on that website. We need to put some other things into there so that when someone goes, who is the best fence company in my neighborhood or in my county, that we need you to show up. And so we have to recode. And sure enough, it works.
What are the biggest products that you would like to make your customers aware of at ADVP?
Um, Biggest product services is the biggest growth in our company is the digital marketing side of things. It was e-commerce for many years, and then the people are buying the Shopify's where you just go build it yourself and hope the best world hope that something happens. Um, so we saw a big decrease in e-commerce demand, but there are people that really realize that we want something custom. That we still do e-commerce. We build any given day. There's one or two e-commerce websites being developed. But definitely in the digital realm, in the area of AI SEO and IP targeting. IP. When clients come to us, they have a specific demographic, and they want us to target it. We're gonna hit these with ads. We're gonna hit their PCs that I'm looking at with ads, and we're gonna hit streaming video. We're gonna hit when they go on the Hulu or whatever stream that they're watching. We're gonna hit them there too. Those type of actual zeroing it right in on targets. That's a huge area of growth for our company.
Now, one of the things with you and your competitors, what do you consider to be the key performance indicators that you need to focus on and making sure that you're delivering for the customer?
Um, one of the things that is we do what's called link back analysis. We ask our clients to give us their who bought the addresses of people that bought products and services from them. And then we load them into a tool that we developed, and we can sit there and say, okay, we targeted that house on this day, and that's why that's your customer. And so that we make sure that the clients are aware that okay, these programs have delivered those results. From the call tracking on phones, we're listening, we're recording the calls. We know that someone clicked on that ad or that website and made that call. So those are really big and key important parts of that all that as well.
Okay. The thing that I'd be interested in is where do you see the direction that the company's going with when it comes to taking a look at the journey with AI as it evolves?
Um, Again, as AI evolves, we evolve websites to go with it. When people start entering, when people begin, people they're doing it now using Chat GPT, Claude, Gemini as search engines. They're asking questions. It's all about making sure the websites have the answers so that the AI is going to pick up that answer and deliver it to a potential customer that, hey, this company does this specific service. And so if that's extraordinarily important. It's very important about content on a website. Of course, you got first AI's got to be able to crawl it, so it can't be a template. It can't be just something out of the box. And then once they tell it, we have to make sure that the correct data is in there, that it triggers an AI to go ahead and list that site as this is a person who does what you're looking for.
Now, it sounds as though you've been very successful with AI incorporated in your business. Is there any areas that you're still looking for possibility AI solutions to help streamline your business?
Um, One of the biggest, another big area, actually, we should talk about that. You look at that, is our AI agents. You know, it's amazing when we install an AI agent on someone's phone line, and that how many after hours calls businesses get. People business, oh, I know when I call this after hour. Next thing you know, oh my God, the AI had 20 conversations between, 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. with people. And, so the AI agent side of things, is huge. I tell people, I told them back in 1997, if you don't adopt this technology, you're not going to be around in 10 years. It's just not going to happen. AI attendance, AI prospecting tools. So we can, one of the things that we like to do is have the AI, we can take a list of attempts. Let's say someone tried to sell someone a fence. We can go back in there and have the AI call them. People don't realize you're not. I mean, you can maybe detect that it's an AI, but when that phone calls you and says, "Hey, this is Craig from AdventureWeb. I noticed that we gave you a website proposal back whenever. Would you like to revisit that? We have new programs. We have AI." And then the person will say, "Well, I'm not sure," and say, "Well, to give you an idea of what we have," the AI will say, "You're talking to an AI." And the guy will like, "Oh my God," people are like, "Oh my God, I'm talking to an AI. You're an AI?" And the people are like, "I am an AI." And and it's funny when you actually listen to it. Like, even the AI will even have, when we deploy the AI agents, that when you listen to some of the calls, it's funny. People are like, "I had a really bad day. My wife and I have been fighting. We haven't get along." The AI agent will actually engage. "I'm sorry to hear that. It happens to so many people these days, but I'm sure you guys can work it out." They have no idea that's actually discussing it with an AI. That the weather's been terrible. Well, don't worry about it. The AI will engage. It'll say, "Don't worry about the weather because it's summertime and pretty soon it's going to be really beautiful weather." And if you're like, "Oh yeah, you maybe you're probably right," and they don't realize that that's a fully engaged conversation with an AI. So, and again, the AIs can do customer service for you. The AI can call, "Hey, I saw we did a service call on your radiator, as a plumber. I just want to make sure that everything was fixed to your satisfaction. The person will, hey, I really appreciate you calling. Yeah, the guy came out, he was dressed real nice, he cleaned up after everything. The AI goes, when AI can ask questions, did he clean up after himself? Yeah, he did. Did he do this? So now you have an AI and saving tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of times of employees. Because how many service contractors are out there that don't ever call and follow, have someone to call and follow up? Did our guy do a good job?
Yep.
And now the AI can call and follow up and ask, and of
Do
course
the
it's
happy sheets.
transcribed and all that. And that's a easy, a customer service rep these days, 55, 65, maybe 75,000, depending on where you live. That AI to do that is, a fraction of that. You know what I mean? It's not even close.
Now,
So
one of the things, go ahead, continue.
yeah, so we tell people that if you want to survive this AI boom and you want to grow your company, you have to start deploying some of these AI services.
Okay. Now, I know you're a strong proponent of customer-centric business models. Tell me how that's put you a cut above in front of your customers.
The Being customer centric, the fact that we talked about a little earlier was that the digital strategists never leave any engagement. It is always they're always there on every call, design call, on every programming call, any marketing. So we have a great graphic. It's a picture of an F-35 jet, and in front of it there's a slew of about 20 people, and then pilots in the middle. And every single one of those people have a specific job on that plane. That plane can't function without every. So when you look at us, our digital strategists, whoever's doing the SEO on the website, the coding, the hard code with schema and all other things, that person has nothing to do with a paid ad campaign. That's another whole nother person. The person that designs that website to look really beautiful, that has nothing to do with when that goes to cut that site up so that it's programmed into our boilerplate. That's another person. So, all these people brought together to service one campaign. A typical good digital campaign when we're building the website, setting up the paid advertising, SEO, there's a minimum of 6 to 8 people involved in that one project. And when you look at small web companies out there, they go, okay, oh no, so and so is going to do your SEO, is going to do the digital, is going to do and going to design it. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, I remember that phrase, being a systems administrator.
Mhm.
Um, we're about to wrap up. One of the things I want you to do is list the strong points of your company as to why somebody wants to do business with you.
um, a proven track record of almost 30 years of success. And when we tell people, when we meet with new clients engagements, when you look at our client engagements, who our clients are right now, they are who's who of every most successful company in Maryland and we're the DMV. No matter what industry you pick at, we service one of those leaders. Going that we take it as a team approach, that there is no one person doing everything. It is individualized to a specific expert in that area. Again, if the web search engine optimization that with digital marketing is so complex, it's inhumanly possible to conceive that one person is going to design it, market it, SEO, it's just you can't. Something balls are being dropped. And then again, our Google reviews are over the top. They're they it's we shine in those areas other than more than I think any company in our area. Even though there are some really good companies out there, we play well with others.
Yeah, that's a good thing. The excuse me, uh, where do you see ADVP down 5 years?
So as you and I talked about, we have top secret operations going.
Yes.
We are building
You
web
can you can tell me, but then I'd have to kill this video.
exactly right. We are building our web platforms to change the world. And we have the one big one that was getting ready to launch. We're waiting for our patents on the technology. So we build stuff that make people a lot of money. Now we're building stuff to make ourselves a lot of money as well. So those are some of the future things that we're in the process of doing. We have there's three distinct web platforms that we've been building. The one it's been in the works for 3 years. It's finally ready, and the moment we get those patent IDs, which we should have here within the next 2 weeks, I think, we'll let the world know.
Well, I wish you a lot of success on that.
Hmm.
And for anybody who wants to check out the website, that is advp.com, correct?
Yes, or Google Adventure Web Digital.
Okay. And I definitely encourage the viewers to go check out the website. As you can see, Craig Kahl is a very influential person in the industry. He's had great success for 29 years and will probably continue to have success. I want to thank you, Craig, for this opportunity to showcase you, your talents, and what your company is capable of doing. And hopefully, this podcast will bring you some more business.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
That would be an excellent opportunity. And then right now, we'll go ahead and bid farewell.
Good speaking with you, Glenn.
Yeah, this was